Joining us today, Jeff Cook from Jeff Cook Real Estate. I'm so excited to finally meet you.
Thank you so much for having me along today.
All right, we're here at Ben 526 in Daniel Island. Absolutely beautiful. We got an awesome spread here, beautiful wine, and now I'm ready to ask you all these questions.
Absolutely.
Okay? Now I think we talked about this. You get 2 passes, all right?
2 passes, all right.
Maybe phone a friend or somebody if you need to. All right, we'll start out pretty easy, okay? What's your full name?
My full name is Thomas Jeffrey Cook.
Where are you from?
I grew up here in Summerville, South Carolina.
See, I didn't know we were both from the Ville.
That's
you
right.
know, learn something every day. So what were you like as a kid? Were you a good kid? Were you getting into stuff?
Well, I think it depends who you ask, you know, and so my mother says that I always got caught. So as a result of that, I didn't have a huge dare factor because, you know, if I was always going to get caught, then I was, you know, kind of on the straight and narrow. But, you know, the funny part is she thought I always got caught, but I didn't actually get caught because she didn't know about the things that she didn't know about.
Oh, and I feel like you could smile and get away with a lot,
Absolutely,
right? Like,
absolutely. A little humor goes a long way, a little smile, you can get out of most anything these days.
how would your wife describe you?
My wife would describe me as loving, caring, but tells it like it is.
Really?
Yeah, you know, it's a very...
You keep it 100?
Yeah, absolutely. 100-0, 100% accountability, 0 excuses.
So you would tell her if something didn't look good on her and stuff?
I would, yeah.
See, I appreciate that.
I would tell her all the time. You know, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing because
No, I
then
think it's good.
It is, okay. Well, she always comes up to me, she's like, what do you think about this? And I'm like, it's amazing. And she's like, well, I don't know. And then the next 10 minutes later, she's changing, and I'm like, I promise I would have told you if it's not great,
Yeah,
you know?
seriously. I hear that you were a class clown. Is that true?
Somewhat. It depends. I was actually, I'm an introvert. A lot of people don't know that because of all the billboards and all the fun stuff that we do and on camera and, you know, the pictures and all of that stuff. But I'm actually more comfortable kind of behind the scenes and low key. Where my wife's the exact opposite of that. She loves the life of the party and having fun and all that stuff, and so we have a good healthy dose of both in order to keep it interesting. But back in high school, you know, we certainly got into our fair share of, you know, little troubles and things like that. I remember one that comes to mind is, you know, back then, you know, late 30s, but back then they didn't have the bell working properly, right? And so the way that they let us out of class is whenever the teacher decided that it was time for, you know, the class to end because the bell wasn't working properly. So anyways, I got on the desk and I set the clock forward enough so that we could get out of class 15 minutes early. Well, another girl by the name of Tamra, and Tamra, if you're watching, I'm still mad about this. Tamra set the clock. She says 15 minutes is way too much. You shouldn't set it that far forward. Let's just set it forward like 7 minutes. And I'm like, okay. So she's setting it forward at 7 minutes, and then all of a sudden the teacher comes in and catches her on the desk. And she's like,
killed it.
what are you doing? And she goes, well, Jeff set the clock forward, so I'm trying to fix it. And totally threw me under the bus. And I was like, I can't believe you did that.
You're like, kill you on that
Tammy,
one.
if you're watching, I still have a place in my heart for you.
Oh, dear. Okay, so being such a familiar face around the Low Country, what are some of the things that people have come up to you? Surely people have come up to you and said some crazy stuff before, right?
One of the craziest things we get is people don't think I'm real, which is why I love doing this interview, you know, kind of the man behind the real estate company. But a lot of people don't believe that I'm a real person. And so they call up to the office and they say, is Jeff really you know, is he really real? Like what, you know, what's he like and all of that stuff?
I mean, I always have wanted to know.
Right.
Because, you know, you see you on the billboards and stuff, and I'm like, I wonder if I would like to sit down and have a glass of wine with him.
Well, here we go.
Yeah, you've made a dream come true. I love this now. All right. And I think one of the things that sets you apart a lot is your marketing. You're a marketing guru, for real. Do you come up with the things for the billboard?
We do. My marketing team and I, we've got 5 or 6 on staff that just do marketing.
Are there times where you're like, okay, I can't do that one?
I remember, yeah, listen, I remember back in, I want to say, probably one of our very first billboards that we did. They came up with this idea for them to put sunscreen on my nose and these giant sunglasses on my head. And at this point, we had not did anything whimsical, nothing funny. The Canada billboard, none of that stuff had came out. And so they're like, here, what do you think about this? And I'm like, are you guys like punking me right now?
I know, seriously.
I was like, I'm not putting that on the side of the interstate. And I asked my wife, I'm like, can you believe they came up with this? And she's like, you need to do that. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I was like, absolutely not. And then I slept on it the next day. I was like, all right, run the whimsical. I was like, if you guys crash and burn the company, like all of you guys and me
done.
are all looking for new jobs. You know what I mean?
Seriously.
And it was early on, you know. And so sure enough, we put it out there, and our call count doubled. Because people appreciated the humor, and they appreciated the human element behind the business, if you will. And two, I just want to share one more thing about billboards. So we came up with this new idea, so cool. Our marketing team came up with this, and this goes back to the idea that we have, our philanthropic arm called Jeff Cook Cares. And with that, we want to try to change people's lives for the positive and just pay it forward, the blessings that we've been given. And so we found a way to turn all of our billboards into something very positive. So we asked the billboard company, we said, what do you guys do with all these billboards after we take them down? Because they're like big tarps, basically. They're like vinyls, And we said, what do you guys do with them? And they're like, well, we junk them, or, we try to recycle some, but, we junk them. And I'm like, we've got to come up with an idea, because we put up a lot of billboards. I was like, I don't want to put all this up, pay for all these billboards, and then we take them down after we're done with them, and then it clogs up the landfill, Like, what are we going to do with them? And so our marketing team came up with a really cool idea. Every billboard that we take, we turn it into 24 backpacks for kids. So the cool part,
so cool.
Yeah, and so the straps and also the back part of the backpack, there are real billboards, and they basically cut them up and mold them into it, and part of it is fabric, but the other part of it's the actual billboard itself. And we've just started selling these. And so for $50, somebody can buy a backpack and give a backpack. So you get 2 backpacks for $50, or you can donate both of them. And every billboard that we now take down, we're going to turn that into 24 backpacks and turn them into, push them into Title I schools.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that we can fill up these classrooms around the Low Country and around South Carolina with school supplies and backpacks for kids that may not be able to afford it.
Well, I can't think of any way that's better to end this segment, because where can people go for more information on how to support that effort?
Yeah, so our website, Jeff Cook Real Estate, we have Jeff Cook Cares is on our main website that you guys can learn more information about that, or just reach out to us. We're happy to talk about it. Something we're very passionate about is giving back. We've been blessed, so we want to turn around and be a blessing for others. So if somebody's interested in learning more about the Backpack Initiative, we would love to try to figure out how to get those into schools. We're going to partner with a group called Charleston Hope to be able to get that into some of the Title I schools here in the Low Country area.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me. And again, for more information on Jeff Cook Real Estate, you can go to jeffcookrealestate.com.